Morning, everybody. Well, welcome to Deborah Wade's Theater. I'm an actress, and I majored in theater, but my minor was education. Believe it or not, in the fall of 1975, I took Introduction to Psychology, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute. I'm going to show you just a few photos of Introduction to Psychology, why I took it. I'll explain to you in a minute. And how important, because my minor was also education, folks. I want to let you know some of the books you can find with Introduction to Psychology. I took it for one good reason alone. Well, I was also an education minor, so obviously I needed to take psychology. It was mandatory I took it, obviously, so eventually I got around to taking it. So let's find out about psychology, why it's so important to take it, even when you major in theater, and I'll tell you why. You got to get along with everybody. It's number one with theater, because you work closely to people, and you have to make sure you get along with everybody. And sometimes it's not easy, but yes, you have to make your best to get along with everybody in the theater world, including your directors, your other castmates. So what is Introduction to Psychology? And I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. Psychology is a scientific study of behavior and mental processes. In other words, when you work with people, you have to be able to socialize. You have to understand individuals and groups by studying the underlying psychological processes, mechanisms, influence, thoughts, feelings. When you do theater, you have to have a lot of thoughts, you have to have a lot of feelings, and you also have very good behavior. If anybody's behavior is not good with theater, you'll be fired on the spot. I can tell you that. And many people I knew got fired on the spot. Clinical psychology deals with diagnosis, assessment, and treatment of mental illnesses. Cognitive psychology examines mental processes such as perception, attention, memory. Memory is very important in the theater. You have to memorize your lines, so it's very important to be able to memorize, and also decision making. It's also very good for education. Developmental psychology studies human developmental across the lifespan, continued cognitive, social, emotional development. Social psychology explores how people think, feel, and behave in social situations. So it goes both ways for theater as well as education. Neuropsychology investigates the relationship between the brain and the behavior. The brain controls the behavior. Okay. Nature versus nature. Debate over whether behavior, influence, genetics, environment. Consciousness, the state of being aware of one's surroundings. Very important in the world of the theater to learn about that, about the different surroundings. Motivation, forcing behind behavior, including needs, desires, and goals. It's very interesting introduction to psychology, and it keeps going on and on and on. See what else. When it comes to education, psychology improves teaching. When you have to teach, you have to learn how to teach. Even when you direct a play, you have to be able to teach your actors to learn their parts and do their lines properly. Psychology also contributes to the understanding and treatment of physical health issues. Wow. Famous psychologist Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud is a very well psychologist. Concept of unconsciousness. Wow. Audrey Skinner is founded behavior development and conditioning theory. Gene Pouchy developed cognitive development. I mean, the list goes on. So here we are from WH Theater. Introduction to Psychology, fall 1975. Have a great day.